Good day, Tamers. With 2.0 fully being released now on the Bandai TCG app. We're going to look at this now. Normally this is like a 2-hour episode. There is like a deck and a half, a box and a half in here. If we can make it like 40 minutes maybe, it would be really good. So I'm going to stop yammering on. We're going to just jump straight into the cards so you guys can actually have a cardful episode. So we're going to start here with Gilmon. Gilmon here is a signature card by Kenji. The first signature card we saw was Beelzemon X Antibody from EX7, so it's nice that they're going to pass this on to us here, even though this is a BT17 card. We are getting access now. We do know we are getting Impmon, I believe, in 2.5, and it could be the Impmon from BT19, but we'll get to that as soon as we know, but we don't really know anything other than it's got a common Impmon, and the only common Impmons are the X Antibody, the original Impmon, and the new Impmon. Digimon over here now coming in from BT18. I'm pretty sure we just had another Digimon. We usually get a lot of Digimons. When attack must return, if you have a red Tamer, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DPLS. Not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but this will help with those pesky and damaging floodgates that we have here. Chapmon here, all turns while you have another blue Digimon in play, get 1000 DP. This makes sense for a lot of Aqua decks, but unfortunately we'll not be using this probably in any Aqua deck because there are much better eggs, and unfortunately Chappie is out of the way. Although it might be something you want to use in a Highlander format maybe, going in the future. One Digimon over here, when attack must return, if you have a yellow Tamer, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Not a terrible egg, again, probably really good in the Highlander format that they want to try out at Christmas, but probably nothing you really want to use in this set. Promon, here the baby for the Royal Base, fairly good. I think when we saw this come out, I think a lot of people were very impressed by it. Solve your main phase by placing one Digimon card with a Royal Base trait from your hand face up as a bottom security card. Add your top security card to hand. It is nice how this deck works, and again, I've been trying to look for like video of it from Japan. I've not been able to find anything of it currently for this deck, but I really want to find out how you play this deck like efficiently. So hopefully some nice kind Japanese player will put up a video and hopefully have some English subtitles on. Kozenimon, alternate turn when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, draw 1. This might be interesting in black base Omnimon, but I don't think it's going to be good into anything other than that, to be fair. Freemon on deletion, for each colour your opponent's Digimon and Tamers have, trash the top card of your deck. Really good into a deck that obviously wants to trash things. Possibly quite good into something like the Millennium line and another push the Dark Knight stuff, but not necessarily something you really care for, because not all decks want to have stuff in their trash. Gazimon from the BT18 here, the on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Millennium in its name and 1 card with the composite or wicked god traits amongst them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Which is kind of funny because this is kind of a deck that wants stuff in the trash. So it'd be kind of funny just like, hey, how about you don't put it back in the deck and you put it in the trash. And then it has a retaliation, which is pretty darn good because I'm pretty sure something in this deck will have blocker, right? And if it doesn't, put a Shoto in it. Goblinmon here, on play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2000 DP or less. Not very common, but it can delete itself technically if your opponent has the exact same deck opposite you, so maybe good for the rematch, right? Shamanmon, all turns your opponent cannot gain memory other than by Tamer effects. Again, this is a 2000 DP one, so it can be deleted by the following Goblinmon we just saw, but again, alas, we do see the floodgates. Bukamon here, helping out all those hybrid decks. Now, on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with a hybrid or 10 warrior traits, and 1 red Tamer card with the inherited effects amongst them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Now, we do have 2 red Tamers for hybrids now. We do have Mr. Tommy, everyone's favourite hate-filled Tamer, as well as the lovely Takuya, who I'm sure is going to not destroy the world. But then we have the new one, which I believe is the Takuya and Koji in this set as well, going forwards either way. Your turn when any of your Digimon or Tamers digivolve into a Digimon card with hybrid or 10 warrior traits, gain 1 memory, which will be quite useful for some of those annoying games. Well, at least it will be useful for 1 turn, as long as you had enough memory to start with, right? Agunimon, when digivolving, you may return 1 card with the hybrid or 10 warrior traits, or 1 Tamer card with the inherited effects from your trash to your hand. Good for recursion. You probably play a couple of these in the deck as opposed to playing like a lot of them, but the inherited effect of this Digimon gains 2000 DP is quite interesting and good for a deck that wants to have a lot of DP to destroy as many things as it can. Grumblemon here now coming in, on play when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Not really an issue. Pretty good. And then when attacking must return, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Going into the newest Deltamon on play and when digivolving, also has Raid. By trashing one card in your hand, return one card with the composite or wicked god traits from your trash to your hand. So, recycling and renewing the trash as much as you can. And it also comes with retaliation in its inherited effects. Gigasmon here, on play when Digivolving one of your Digimon gains Rush for the turn. That is actually a really good one, especially if you have free memory at the start of your turn, go into a Grumble. I don't know what I think of this. Yeah, it's just really, really good to have this out. Maybe you've had a big stack, your Digimon got exploded, you've got free memory anyway on the start of your turn, or you've got some memory boost at the back. It lets you play a Tamer. Tamer's obviously technically got downloading or summoning sickness, whatever you want to class it as. Digivolve up into one of the red hybrids, and then you can Digivolve this on top of it for a cost of 1 if it is a Grumble, and then you do gain Rush. Give yourself Rush as well if you really want to. But yeah, having access to Swing Again is really good. Then when a second one's turn inherited, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Chimera, nice rare card. When Digivolving, when attacking, by deleting one of your Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. On deletion, one of your Machine Digimon and one Chimera in the trash may DNA Digivolve into a Millenniumon in the hand. Remember, this is the newest Millennium, not the oldest Millennium. Me and Crimson had this conversation during the weekend. Remember, on deletions is when it goes into the trash. So don't think the one on the field is technically still alive. It doesn't activate the undeletion until it hits the trash, and then it will do the effect. So if you only had this one, you DNA Digivolve with it. But Security Attack +1, really good. Let's fight them. Let's fight the power. When Digivolving Blitz, and then when attacking, this Digimon gains 2000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn for Cannonmon. 11k Blitzer, that's pretty darn good, especially if you can get it out early enough where that will make some dents and damage. Also really good into pre-release. Looking at you, Brian. Leave me be, you bastard. On play, when Digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. All turns while this Digimon would leave the battle area from the Digimon's Dilution card, you may return to the hand or play, without paying the cost, one level 4 lower red Digimon card. Again, Gigas on play, and when Digivolving, you'd put him out again, give him Rush, Swing Again. I could see it being usable, but I don't think it's going to be the main card for any of these decks. Emperor Greymon now. A red, green, and blue Digimon card here. Takuya with 5 hybrid traded cards underneath for a cost of 5. We're swinging out when Digivolving for each colour in this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Trash any one Digivolution card from your opponent's Digimon and suspend one of their Digimon. Then this Digimon may attack. That's probably the only thing that's really good about this is the fact that it's very expensive, but you're going to swing. Your turn must return when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle. It gains Security Attack +1 for the turn and unsuspends, which is also pretty darn good. And then we've got the alt art as well for Emperor Greymon. So yeah, that's a really pretty card. I do agree that having alternate arts does make the world a better place, because I love alternate arts. Everyone knows this. On play, when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if DNA Digivolving, by returning one of each Digimon card with different levels from your opponent's trash to the top of the deck, gain 1 memory for each card returned. Goddamn. On deletion, by returning 1 Chimera and 1 Machine Digimon from your trash to the bottom of the deck, you may play 1 Millenniumon from your trash without paying the cost. Again, this is going to be deleted in there, but this can be any Millenniumon, I believe, as in specifically Millenniumon, because it doesn't say in name, so I'm presuming it means Millennium, so it could be this one, it could be the one from, I believe, from BT19, it can be the one from BT2, I think, was the first Millennium, but I think they're all the Millenniums that are currently available in the game. Tsukiyamon has aquatic traits, just a 2-cost Digimon, just something simple to put on the field, I believe it is, and then use the effects of some of the aquatic things to suck it back into the sources to gain effects. Penguin here, your turn was return when Digimon or any of your Tamers will Digivolve into a multicolored blue or red Digimon card, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. He's nice to have, he gives jamming as an inherited effect, but I don't think he's really going to be playable too much in the future. Kumamon, this goddamn sack of shit. When Digivolving, trash the bottom 2 Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon. When attacking must return, one of your Digimon or Tamers may Digivolve into a blue or red Digimon card with the hybrid trait in the hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1. All turns when this Digimon will leave the battle area other than by the effects, you may play 1 Tamer card with the inherited effects from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. So, yeah. He also has an alt art. The alt art is very cheeky. He looks very sad, but it's very cheeky as well. And then we go to Lanamon. On play, when Digivolving, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Amongst them, add to the hand or place any of your blue Digimon bottom Digivolution cards. 1 Digimon card with the Aqua or Sea Animal traits in the traits. Return the rest of the bottom of the deck, and then when attacking must return, you may return 1 of the 3 Digimon to the hand. This is kind of cool for the Aqua deck that came out sort of in EX6 that's been going around. It's nice to have like a level 4 searcher for the sake of having a level 4 searcher, I feel. The deck is kind of tight, so I don't know if you'd actually use it, but maybe as a 1 or 2 off just to be able to get cards circling through. Again, the deck itself does want to put cards on the field, so it's nice to actually like reload a level 3. Claymore on play when Digivolving. If you have a level 3 Digimon card in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the hand. If such are... If level 3 Digimon card are... God damn, hang on, they don't... If level 3 Digimon cards are in this Digimon... It should be if A... are in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the hand. If such aren't, you may place one blue level 3 Digimon card from your hand as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. Oh, what you English hard. When attacking was returned, you may return one level 3 Digimon to the hand. It's fine. Like, it's okay. Like, the whole deck wants to, like, shove things in, drop it out, play it again, go back in, shove it back in. Constant light recycling. It's a very good idea for the deck. I just wish it was English better. Korikakumon, everyone's favourite Yeti, has jamming. We love jamming. And then on play when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, one of their Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't suspend. Obviously, this is good with Kumamon. The idea is you swing with Kumamon, this is in your hand, you can Digivolve into this, you get the jamming, you get to make it so that your opponent can't block or can't do anything next turn, and then it has more jamming. Jamming is just very good, everyone likes jamming. And then it also has an alt art. The alt art's quite nice. I'm not massively into this, like, sunken art style. Like, it's very, like, smooth, despite having, like, a lot of detail. Not necessarily my thing, but I do prefer him over Kuma, because Kuma's just a naughty little bear. Then we have Dapengmon, hand main, same thing as the Balwolf, but by placing one Kuma and one Korikakumon from your trash under one of your blue or red Tamers, Digivolve into this card for a Digivolution cost of 3, ignoring Digivolution requirements. Ice Clad, we should all know what that does now. If you've got more sources than your opponent, when you slap him with your ice sticks, you will win the battle. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards. Again, very strong effects, and I do think that having the Ice Snow trait is going to make this a very good card, as well as being a cyborg. He's a penguin, goddammit. Leave him be. Marmimon, when attacking, you may play one blue level 3 Digimon card or one Tamer card from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. Recursion is always nice. Then we have the Ancient Megatheriumon. On play when Digivolving, trash the bottom 2 Digivolution cards of all of your opponent's Digimon until the end of their turn. None of their Digimon with no Digivolution cards can suspend. Nice little, I suppose, floodgate effect here. The issue, though, is this is a terrible Digimon. All turns, when this Digimon will leave the battle area, you may play a 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card with the Mammal, Ice Snow, or Hybrid trait from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. Also has Ice Snow, so it's searchable with the Ice Snow effect. And then you can Digicross for -2 for Kuma and Korikakumon. So yeah, you're reducing this to a 7 cost play. So it is doable. It's just not the greatest over here. Ancient Meramimon. I'll play when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon cards to the hand. For each of your other Digimon, add 1 level to this. This is a pretty cool effect, especially because it's in a deck that wants to go sideways. So, you know, it's quite easy to have like a level 6 getting bounced back to hand or a level 7 getting bounced back to hand. Obviously, protection isn't a massive thing these days, so it is doable. And then the all turns effect is the same as everything else. You know, play a Digimon for free. And then Digicross -2 with Lana and Calamari. This is a 12 cost one though, so it's going to cost you 8 if you want to do that. But again, the on-play effect is pretty cool if you do have a wide board. Candleman now. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of that deck. Add 1 yellow card with the Data trait and 1 card with the Witchiny trait amongst them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. All turns return when this yellow Digimon with the Data or Witchiny trait would leave the battle area by your opponent's effects. By trashing your top security card, it doesn't leave. It's essentially just barrier. So if you're wondering what that effect is, it's basically just barrier, but a specific barrier. Neemon, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with the hybrid or Tamer traits and 1 yellow Tamer card with the inherited effects amongst them to the hand. Return the rest of them on the deck. Your turn was turned when any of your Tamers with the inherited effects are played. Gain 1 memory. This is only your turn, unfortunately, so you know it'd be very good if it was onto your opponent's side, but unfortunately, it's only when you're playing the game. Luxemon, all turns return when any of your other Digimon with the Angel, Archangel, or Frigga Angel traits are played. Gain 1 memory. Then when taking on turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -2000 DP for the turn. Free Great Angels has been doing some things. I don't know if it's necessarily interesting things, but they have been doing things. So maybe in that kind of build, you'll see people playing it. But currently, I don't know of anything that's going on with that deck. Hand main, if your breeding area is empty by returning one Digimon card with the free Great Angel traits from your trash at the bottom of the deck, play this Digimon card into the breeding area without paying the cost. I mean, having access to a card that you can move out the following turn to actually play is pretty good, and sometimes it's just a case that you need to just have something in the back to essentially threaten games sometimes. Lose them on start of your main phase. On play, by trashing one card in your hand, your opponents may trash the top security card. If this effect didn't trash, recover one. End of your turn, by placing one of your level 6 Digimon as the top security card. This Digimon may Digivolve into a Lucy Chaos mode in the trash without paying the cost. It's pretty good. We do like our Chaos modes over here. Art, Agita Swiftly. Podamon over here. Security at the end of battle. Play this card without paying the cost. Having access to an additional body is always pretty good, but not necessarily something you play. I'm sure if there's a efficient angel deck out there, maybe you might play this in there as maybe a 1 or 2 of, just to have something relevant to jump into after it comes out of security. Wisdom, when Digivolving by trashing your top security card, draw 1 and gain 1 memory. Again, this is a deck that does want to trash security and essentially survive through trashing security. All turns when this yellow Digimon with the data or Witchery trait would leave the battle area by your opponent's effects. By tracking your top security, it doesn't leave again. Witchery barrier, essentially. Lobomon, Koji for a cost of 2, or a Kendo Grumon for a cost of 0. When Digivolving search your security stack, you may add 1 card with the hybrid or Tamers traits amongst them to the hand. If this added, recover 1, then shuffle your security stack. Lobomon, then when attacking, if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, draw 1, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Arc-High Angemon. Arc-High Angemon. On play, when Digivolving, you may place 1 Digimon card with the Angel, Archangel, or 3 Great Angel traits from your hand as the bottom security card. Then, if you have 4 more security cards, add your top security to the hand. I mean, I think like cards that like manipulate security are interesting in like a vacuum, but I think with how often these cards kind of mess up the game, I'm always concerned now how this works, especially with certain cards that go, oh, security move, now I'm the boss. So, who truly knows? Mistymon, barrier on play when Digivolving by trashing your top security card. Choose one Digimon's original DP to become 6,000 until the end of your opponent's turn. All turns return when your security deck is removed from this Digimon mate and suspend, which is pretty good. I'm going to go into the Dynasmon Ace here. It has a raid on play when Digivolving and when attacking by trashing your top security card when your opposed Digimon gets minus 5,000, 6,000 DP to the end of the turn. All turns while you have 3 or fewer security, this Digimon gains blocker and gets 4,000 DP. So 16k blocker that has raid on your turn. Pretty scary stuff. And the alt art here is was it Wyvern's Breath? It's quite a cool looking card. And then we have the SP of it as well. I kind of like the grey scale with the gold. It's quite a nice touch. Then we have Mr. Monkey Business himself, Mr. Metal Atomon. DNA Digivolving from level 5s with the blue, yellow, green, black. Then on play when Digivolving or on deletion, give one of your opponent's Digimon minus security attack +2 until the end of their turn. Then Digivolve one of their Digimon, which is pretty fine. He is a new level 6 for the NSP trait, as well as being a cyborg. With the tech that people have been using recently to go off of, is it Ultimate Digimon Fusion, the forecast one from EX6? You could replace this one with the Saber Leo to a degree. Just having access to this helps not having to have an ace in the stack. Not necessarily you're going to play or might see, but it's not as useless as people think it is. Magna Grumon. When Digivolving, end of your opponent's turn, once per turn, and by placing 1 Digimon card with this Digimon's Digivolution cards as the bottom security card, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the same level as that placed card. All turns once per turn when Digimon attack by adding your top security card to the hand, this Digimon in suspense. Okay. I mean, I don't hate it. I feel like I need blocker somewhere, but I don't hate it. And then same again. I'd say it's very cool. I do like these like lightning swords. But there we go. Tinkerman. Your turn once per turn. When this Digimon or any of your Tamers would Digivolve into a multicolored green or red Digimon card, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Yeah, cool. Fun Beamon. Security, all turns, all of your royal-based Digimon gain an extra 1000 DP. On play, by placing one Digimon card with the royal base trait from your hand face up as the bottom security card, add the top security card to your hand. Not an awful ability, it's pretty good in the deck. Obviously, you want to put all your stuff upside, like face up in your security, so that way you can try and have big scary blockers and rebooters and just some big ass bees. Pokemon over here, all turns while this Digimon is suspended, all of your other Digimon get 1000 DP, which is fine, but there's better Pokemons out there. Looking at you, Floodgate, as well as the one that says when I'm suspending something else. Waspmon, security, all turns, all of your role-based Digimon gain 1000 DP, again, perfectly fine. Then opponent's turn, none of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon can attack players. This becomes quite an interesting, I'm going to say Floodgate, so it essentially becomes a trap card. So, yeah, basically, you can't attack if your DP is less than or the same as this Digimon. And having access to cards like this, where it could be a 10k plus level 4, it can make things quite interesting. Not for your opponent, though. Arbamon over here, on play when Digivolving by suspending one of your green Digimon, suspend one of your opponent's Tamers or Digimon, which is fairly fine. Digivolves from Petmon for a cost of 0, and then onto a Tamer for 2, as well as a level 3 Digimon for 2 as well. When attack goes per turn, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. It's pretty good inherited effect, if I do say so myself. Unfortunately, it's not. And it is a vegetation now, which is really cool, as well as a cyborg. This will help out things in the future. Kazimon here now being a green and red card. When Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then when attacking once per turn, one of your Digimon or Tamers may Digivolve into a green or red Digimon card with the hybrid trait in hand for a reduced cost of 1. And when this Digimon will leave the battle area other than by your effects, you may play one Tamer card with inherited effects from this Digimon's Digital cards without paying the cost. It's got like really good, recursion. And then we also have an alt-art here, which we're going to move away from quite quickly. Zephyrmon over here, also green and red, with having the inherited effect of piercing, as well as having piercing itself. On play, when Digivolving, one of your Digimon gets 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. You're going to give that to yourself. You're going to Digivolve off of Kazi for 1 on the Digivolving, so basically you do it for free. And then you will suspend this when you Digivolve up. So go onto Pazoe, Digivolve, suspend the Digimon, have piercing, or go vice versa, go Zephyr into this. To be fair, you probably want to go the other way around because it's going to cost you 0. So for the cost of 2, you now have a piercing body over here that suspended an opponent's Digimon on the turn before. So it's pretty good. And it also has an alt-art, which is an alt-art. Alright, let's go to Petaldragon. On play, when Digivolving, one of your level 4 or lower Digimon with plant or vegetation in any of its traits may unsuspend. It is one of those things. So, yeah, it has vegetation. It may unsuspend if you did swing early. That's down to you. I'm not sure if you have jamming as like inherited from any of the level of any of the Tamers. So do be careful if that's the case. Entmon, your turn. When this suspended Digimon would Digivolve into a level 6 Digimon card with plant or vegetation in any of its traits, reduces the Digivolution cost by 2. It's actually pretty good. I'm not sure if it'll ever see play in any of those decks really. Unless you just really want to play it in like this variant and have like Ancient Troymon. But again, you can do if you want to. Cost 2 to Digivolve into it then. You can do it into Bloomlord if you want to. It's already quite a cheap Digivolution cost gain on that memory back as well. So it could be something you see. Cannon Beamon now over here, coming in with the hot security over here. Opponent's turn, all of your role-based Digimon gain blocker. On play, when Digivolving, for each of your face-up security cards, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. I do hate this because English is terrible, because English is both are correct. So I'm presuming this is you can Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. For every card that's face up, you can make more Digimon Digivolve. I'm going to presume, because I'm going to presume this, because people don't want to talk about this deck, I don't know why, that this would mean that if your opponent only has one Digimon and you have like 3 cards face up in your security, that you could Digivolve that one Digimon 3 times, but once at a time. Can it be on all turns of turn when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, trash their top security? This is a card you made for Mr. Machinedramon. I do see this going to be like good for its own deck. I also see it going to be very good for Machinedramon. I look forward to seeing the slam builds where it's essentially like one card with collision and then just a 4 cards that have this inherited effect, which are all green cards to be fair. I think they're all green and black cards. But yeah, I expect to see that in the not so distant future. Jet Sylphimon, hand, main, by placing 1 Kazi and 1 Zephyr from your trash under one of your green or red Tamers. Digivolve it into this Digimon card for the Digivolution cost of 3, ignoring the Digivolution requirements, and you have access to Raid. When Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. It can't suspend until the end of their turn. All turns, this Digimon gets a 2000 DP, which I'm going to declare that's pretty good. We do have Agent Kazimon over here. On play, when Digivolving, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. None of their Digimon can unsuspend until the end of their turn. That is quite a good effect, I'm going to say. Despite what a lot of people might think, because if this is like a free, or it can be like 16k if it's all the same turn, so you go up and get 3000, get another 2000 for the inherited effect. This is now a 16k Digimon. If all of your opponent's Digimon just basically get turned sideways and they can't do anything for a turn, that's really good for you. All turns when this Digimon would leave the battle area, you may play one level 4 or lower Digimon card with the hybrid or avian bird or fairy in any of its traits from this Digimon's Digimon cards without paying the cost. You probably won't, but I'm not saying you couldn't play this in Zephage. You wouldn't play it in Zephage, but I'm saying it could be interesting. Maybe. You can throw out level 4 with Vortex. Ancient Troymon. All turns will return when any of your opponent's Digimon suspend. Trash their top security. I mean, if it wasn't once per turn, that'd be really cool. All turns when this Digimon would leave the battle area, blah, 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 play level 4 green Digimon. Pretty good. Arbo and Petalmon for Digicross -2 becomes an 8 cost, and then Agent was Kazi and Zephyr for -2, but that makes it a 7 cost. It's an interesting way to play the game. Let's see how it would actually go. Tiger Vestmon, a card that I've been waiting for a long time. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this. I think basically since the Adventure 2020 came out, and we all knew the card game was coming out. I think we were waiting for this card for at this point like 4 years. Piercing and Reboot on play when Digivolving for each of your face-up security cards. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then none of their Digimon can unsuspend until the end of their turn, which means you will have access to at least swing into them at least once in the coming turns. All turns will return when other Digimon are deleted in battle. This Digimon may unsuspend. You also have the inherited effect coming from Cannon Beamon. That means that when you get piercing, you're basically doing 2 security damage per hit, which means there's a good chance that we'll be doing 4 damage per turn, if that's the only way you can get this out. But yeah, it's quite dangerous. A very cool looking Kamen Rider style artwork here. I do think it's very cool. I do think a lot of the artworks in a lot of these recent sets have been on point constantly, and I am happy to see them keep going. Kokabateriumon here, your turn was returned when this Digimon or any of your Tamers would Digivolve into a multicolored black or yellow Digimon card. Reduce the Digimon cost by 1. Fairly standard. It has blocker though as well. I could see this possibly being played in a black base version of the Rural base deck, just as a blocker in the Inherited. You probably won't though, and I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying I could see it. But yeah, we get rid of that quickly. Coatmon here on play by trashing 1 card with Nightmon in its text in your hand. Draw 2. You know I love these archetypal trash 1, draw 2. Very good in Nightmon as well, because they do like things in the trash to be able to recur things back when they Digivolve up through Digicross, as well as other means. So a fairly good card for that archetype. Unfortunately, it is a reptile. It's not actually a warrior itself, so as you can see from the original Lord Nightmon deck, it couldn't search for itself, and it does not have... It does have Nightmon in its text, technically, so it could trash itself to, gain this effects. Does anyone over here, all turns your opponent can't gain memory other than by Taming effect? Someone was saying to me they've got 2 of these now in black, which makes no sense to me, but it's interesting that if that's the case, that we do have 2. Venmon over here, first time we've seen this since BT11. It's been a while, friend. On play, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Amongst them, add 1 card with Venmon in its text to the hand. I'll place 1 Venmon as any of this Digimon's bottom illusion cards. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Your turn was turned when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon card with Venmon in its text, reduce the Digimon cost by 1. So, yeah, obviously if you have multiple of these in the same stack, it's a good chance that you can just basically Digivolve up for nothing. Treomon on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may place 1 Tamer card or 1 level 4 or lower black card amongst them as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. Return the rest to the bottom or top of the deck. End of your opponent's turn will turn. You may play 1 Tamer card from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. It's a train, you're boarding the train technically, and then you can basically get off the train at the end of your opponent's turn. You are playing a game of, does my opponent destroy me and I lose a Tamer? Personally speaking, you want to play this with like the Seekers Tamers, like Marvin. Put him in at the end of your turn, you get to drop him out anyway, and then your opponent just looks at you very sadly. Technically in this deck you want to play it with like Analog Man and get Analog Man on the train, and then at the end of that turn Analog Man comes off the train, and if your opponent's dead, but you have to hope that your opponent either 1 can't deal with this card and can't get rid of it, or if they're playing like a black deck, they just Digivolve you into your Tamer, which better for you obviously. But yeah, you have to basically think, can I survive a turn like this going boom? And then your turn, this Digimon with the machine trait gains collision. Essentially, this is a way for you to go up into Machine Digimon through a standardized line. So you throw this down the field, you can Digivolve into a level 5, and then you can Digivolve up into your Machine Digimon, and the Machine Digimon's like, yeah, I now have collision. I now have a way of like essentially just playing the game the way I want to play it, which is making you suspend and let me stab you with sharp things. Gladiamon. On play when Digivolving by trashing one card with the Nightmon in its text from your hand until the end of your opponent's turn. One of your Digimon can't be deleted by your opponent's effects. A very cool effect. Pretty sure you just don't play this at all though. All turns this Digimon gets 1,000 DP, which is actually quite cool, especially because you're going to be blocking a lot, but again, just isn't played. Beetlemon, looking over here, look, this called Beetleborg. When Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't be deleted by their effects. Like, respectfully, that's an amazing ability. When attacking, one of your Digimon may Digivolve, or Tamers, may Digivolve into a yellow or black Digimon card with a hybrid trait from the hand with the Digimon cost reduced by 1. We all like to have things for free or cheap. All turns, again, when this Digimon leaves the battle area, you may play one Tamer with the heritage effects here. So in this case, you are looking at probably a JP to some degree. As it can be on either JP, so the green or the new yellow-black one. When Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't be deleted by their effects again. Alternate art does look like a big Beetleborg from back in the day. I do miss those days. There was a good show. No joke there. Yeah, I think it's great. I know a few people that do love this Digimon and are going to be absolutely clamouring to get one of these during pre-release. Let me go to Mercurymon. On play, when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't be returned to the hand or deck by their effects. Can't be sent to security though, and can just be deleted. But yeah, it's pretty good into like blue hybrid or any deck that just wants to say, hey, just like get off the field. That isn't deletion. Snatchmon over here. While you have no Digimon other than Venmon cards in your trash, they can also be placed in these cards for the Digicross, which is really cool. When Digivolving, you may place up to 2 Venmon from your trash as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards. At the end of your turn, if this Digimon has 4 or more Digivolution cards, it may Digivolve into the Digimon card with Venmon in its text from its hand. So you basically get to go up into a level 5 at the end of your turn. And then you put the Venmons in here, 4 of them if you can, for a reduced cost to make this a 2-cost on-play Digimon. All turns when this Venmon when any Venmon returns to the bottom of the deck from this Digimon's Digivolution cards, this Digimon suspends against block until the end of your turn, which is just a good effect. Can't complain. Sephirothmon? I feel like it's Sephirothmon, but like the other spelling of it. On play when Digivolving by placing 1 level 4 or lower hybrid traded other card than Sephirothmon from your hand or trash as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, you may activate 1 on-play effect of this placed card's effects of this Digimon. Yeah, so unfortunately you can't just like loop it, right? So you just go like, alright, I'm going to add 4 of these and then go from there and just have like a massive opponent's turn. I've got like a 20-something K beat stick. Let me go over here to Metal Capitariumon, which is as blocker. Awesome. I'll play when Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. That's so good. Even though this goes into Metal, sorry, it goes into Beetlemon, the effect of Beetlemon, obviously when they attack you can Digivolve into this. Gives something Digivolve, so if they try to block you, they just essentially either get Digivolve down and you just crush them, or they, go for the heart. We do get to have an alt art of this as well, and it looks absolutely metal, no pun intended, and yeah, I can see people like fighting for these 2 alt arts when we get there. Wisemon, blocker on play when Digivolving reveal top 5 cards of your opponent's deck. Return the revealed cards to the top or bottom of the deck. So yeah, if you literally flick over your opponent's like Tamers, and they probably only run like 6 of them, and you reveal 5, stick them to the bottom. They ain't going to play the game anymore. They're going to be very sad with you. Obviously, it's in a gambling niche deck that you probably aren't going to be playing anyway, but I do find it quite funny that you could do this. Nightmon here. Blocker, end of opponent's turn. You may choose one of your opponent's Digimon. Your opponent attacks with the chosen Digimon. I'm presuming this also makes them attack if they've already suspended, but doesn't say that. Normally, the idea is that they can't do something they're not willing to do, but in this case, I'm presuming it's more of a case of they have to attack. So it's the opposite of what Etamon does, which is at the start of your opponent's turn, it's the end of your opponent's turn. So they're probably going to try and get this off the field if that's the case. All turns, all of your Digimon Nightmon in its text gain 2,000 DP, which they ain't going to complain. That's a lot of bang for their buck. Rhino Capitariumon, hand main, replacing Beetle and Metal Capitariumon from your hand, from your trash, under one of your black or yellow Tamers. Digivolve into a card with Digicross for free, ignoring the Digicons. It has collision, great ability. You need to be a little bit bigger. All turns return. When attack targets change, this Digimon may unsuspend. So if you can be big enough where your opponent doesn't just kill you from suspending to block this, you just have a giant beatstick insectoid. Luckily, it is an insectoid. And then when attack comes return as inherit effect, all of one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP for turn, which is very yellow of it, but it is what it is. Fortunately, no alternate art. It is an uncommon though, so if we are getting previous cards, which I'm not sure if we are anymore, we would have that in foil at least. Shadow Seraphi Ace now has blocker on play when Digivolving Digivolve 3, one of your opponent's Digimon, and then all turns will turn when when attack targets change, one of your opponent's Digimon gets another minus 5,000 DP for the turn. So there's a good chance you just nuke something off the field, which is always fun. And since this is an ace card, the fun thing about this is now how ace timing works is you ace, and then you can block with the same card, which means it's going to change targets, which means it's already been de-digivolved, and then it can also have its DP just removed. And if you play this above, let's say, like the Rhino Capiteriumon, it's, basically on the following swing back when it's attacking, it's going to give something else minus 4,000 DP, which is just really good. The alternate art here is quite cool. I love the old Sephiroth style here, which is like the Judeo symbol for religion, demons? Question mark. I think I know what I mean. I don't explain it very well. And then the grey scale with the gold is just very cool. It actually works really well for this Digimon. Obviously, being a black and yellow Digimon, this does work in its favour. Ancient Beelmon right now here on play when Digivolving Digivolve 2 of your opponent's Digimon. Digivolve 2 of your opponent's Digimon, really good. All turns when this Digimon would leave the battle area, you may play one level 4 or lower Digimon card with the Insectoid or Hybrid traits from this Digimon's Digimon card, paying the cost. It's also an Insectoid, as well as being an Ancient Insect, as well as being a 10 Warriors, and it's 11 costs, so it goes down to 7 if you can do it with the effects of these guys. So, I ain't gonna complain, it's pretty cool. Machine Digimon now, it's been a while, my good friend. When this card would be played by deleting one of your Digimon with the composite trait, reduce the play cost by 4. I kind of wish this had composite or machine, which would give the new Traumon kind of like another existence to be here. On play when Digivolve all of your opponent's Digimon. That's an effect, man. That is an effect. On deletion, one of your Chimeras or one of your Machine Digimons in the trash may DNA Digivolve into Millennium in the hand. Again, we already had this talk earlier about the Chimera. It's the new Millennium ones it can do this to. It can't do it to the original. And it's also considered a composite type, as well as being a machine. And the inherited effect, opponent's turn, once per turn. When any of your opponent's Digimon attack, you may change the target to one of your Digimon with the composite or Wicked God trait, which I would presume is going to either be a Zed or Millenniumon at that point. But it's a cool card, interesting take on the design. Ancient Wisemon. On play when Digivolving, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Play one black Digimon card with a play cost of 7 or less. Amongst them without paying the cost, trash the rest. All turns when this Digimon would leave the battle area from this Digimon's distribution card, you may return to the hand or play without paying the cost one level 4 or lower Digimon card. You have Mercury and Sephirothmon, and he's a 12k. He's a 12 cost. He's also 12k. The issue I find with these ones, like the effect is kind of okay. It's interesting, but it's not necessarily the biggest, bestest thing in the world. But the issue I have is I wish they were all the same costage. Like I wish they were all 11, so it's like a 7 cost to get it out, rather than having some that are 7, some that are 8. But that is probably more than just me anything else. Lialimon, your turn once per turn. When this Digimon or any of your Tamers would Digivolve into a multicolored purple or yellow Digimon card, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1, has retaliation as it's inherited. So that's pretty good. Lawanmon, it comes from Koichi and Kaiser. When Digivolving, draw one and trash one card in hand. When attacking, one of your Digimon or Tamers may Digivolve into a purple or yellow Digimon card with the hybrid trait in trash. All turns when this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by your effects, you may play one Tamer card with the inherited effects from this Digimon's distribution card without paying the cost. I'm quite a fan of this. I don't know about you guys. Kaiser over here, retaliation on play when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Again, pretty good if it's got like level 4 blockers or floodgates. Has retaliation again and its inherited effects. Duskmon, level 4, on play when Digivolving, also Digivolves from Koichi, as well as a Volgaramon. Until the end of your opponent's turn, change the original colour of one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers to one non-white colour. When attacking, one of your Digimon or Tamers may Digivolve into a level 4 card with the hybrid trait in the trash, with the Digivolve cost reduced by 1. On deletion, you may play one Tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from the trash without paying the cost. Very good. Then we have an alt art for Duskmon, which looks quite menacing. I actually like that. It's really cool. All the eyes staring in different directions, looking at you basically through the card, as well as the eye from Koichi here staring at you through its broken mask. Valkyriamon. On play, when digivolving for each colour your opponent's Digimon and Tamers have, trash one card from the top of both players' decks. Then for each card this effect trashed, this Digimon gets 1,000 for the turn. End of attack, by deleting one level 4 lower purple Digimon, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. So this might be good in something like, I don't know, Diaboromon, where you can just pop all the tokens at the same time. It's an interesting card. It has retaliation as an inherit effect, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. Purple Hybrid is a very interesting deck. That's a very cool looking card. But it has like a very weird style to it. Oboromon. On play, when digivolving, delete one level 4 or lower red, green, purple, or white Digimon. Then delete one blue, yellow, black, or white Tamer with a playcost of 3 or less. It has retaliation again as an inherent effect. I quite like this. I do quite like this. Rihimon. Hand main, replacing one Laui and one Kaiser from the trash under this one of your purple yellow Tamers. Digivolve this into a Digimon Evolution card for a cost of 3, ignoring the requirements. Has jamming, which is pretty good. When digivolving, you may play one Tamer card with the inherited effects from the trash without paying the cost. That is actually a really good effect. When attacking with turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP for the turn, which is pretty good. No alt art, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of the level 5s did not get an alt art. You do get access to the new Lucy Chaos mode over here. On play, when digivolving, your opponent may delete one of their Digimon or Tamers. If this effect didn't delete it, recover one and trash your opponent's top secret card. Basically the same effect as the EX6 Chaos Mon. Don't quote me on that. All turns was returned when this Digimon would leave the battle area by trashing your bottom security card. It doesn't leave! So there we go. And then the alt art here is kind of cool, although it is kind of like hip thrusting out a cosmic black array. I'm not sure if this is meant to be forcing it out and shooting demonic energy at somebody, or you're getting shot by demonic energy here. Now we have access to the new Lord Nightmon. If you may have seen my meme the other day about the whole find a nickel for every time Lord Nightmon was the best deck in format. I'd have 2 nickels. It's just weird. Hand Blast counter devolution over here. When digivolving, you may play one level 5 or lower Digimon card with the Nightmon in its text from your hand or trash without paying the cost. This isn't the first time, this would not be the last time this effect. It will annoy me forever, as this was the same thing that the BT5 one essentially did. Although it was Warrior, not Nightmon, but you always played the Nightmon. All turns, all Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon gain collision. Oh yeah, you got a block. And then quite a nice looking golden rapier style here on the Lord Nightmon. At the end of the day, they are a paladin style warrior, I guess. But yeah, it's quite a nice art style and work there. And then the gold and grey here doesn't quite work as nicely as the others, I feel. But it's just, the gold is very nice accented for the SP. We also have Ancient Sphinxmon, which I don't think we're going to really work here. It does actually work with any of the dark purple hybrids over here, so Laui plus Dusk or Kaiser and Volga. And on play, when you delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, which can be done. And then all turns, when this Digimon will leave the battle area, you may play one level 4 lower Digimon card with the Dark Animal, Mystical Beast, or Hybrid traits from this Digimon's Digimon cards without paying the cost. And as you've seen before, there are some good effects on those on plays over there. Zambamon, when any of your Digimon would digivolve into this card, reduce the Digimon cost by 1 for each colour in your opponent's trash. In this meta, where obviously you're going to be playing a lot of different colours, it doesn't ask for Digimon, so it can be the Tamers. And obviously a lot of these Tamers now 2 colours, so there's a good chance if they're playing the certain decks that want you to play at least 3, you could essentially get up to this to like a cost of 1. For every 2 colours in your opponent's trash, this Digimon gains security attack +1 and gets plus 2,000 DP. So yeah, if your opponent is playing essentially a 4-colour deck, which isn't too uncommon these days, to be fair, with white Tamers, the multicolour Tamers in here, as well as multicolour Digimon. So, you know, it could be swinging for free at 16k, which is not unlikely. We have access now to Mr. Lucymon Lava Mode over here. Security, you may play one Lucy from your trash without paying the cost. Breeding all turns, when any of your Lucy setting modes would leave the battle area by moving this Digimon to the battle area, they don't leave. All turns, while you have a non-white Digimon with Lucymon in its name, none of your 0 DP Digimon can be deleted. So, yeah, it's pretty good. So, don't die to security effects, security battles either. Start of your turn, if you have 2 or less memory, go to 3. This is Owen Dreadnought now. All turns when your opponent's security stack is removed from. By suspending this tamer, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DPLS. This could be really good into things like Royal Base, because obviously they take the top card off, and then they can just pop something on the field if it's got 4000 or less DP, which may or may not be as easy sounding as it makes it sound, because obviously they start gaining DP very quickly in that deck. I was hoping this effect would work in like against Patamon, but apparently it digivolves before you get the chance to pop it, so unfortunately it's not an interruptive effect. But I'm sure there's a deck where this works really well. Old Gallimon stuff is really weird because it's your turn only, but it gives all your all your DP based deletion effects plus 1000. So technically, if you want to run like the really old stuff from like EX2, you could run that version of the deck with this, and then on your turn, like 10k things could just go pop. Takuya and Koji over here. Security players go up and the cast start of your start of your turn. If you have 2 or less, go to 3. There's a 5 cost tamer though. Start of your main phase, you may place up to 1 hybrid traded card with different names from your trash under this tamer. For each of your other tamers, add 2 maximum numbers to this effect. Obviously, if you've seen the level 6 10 warriors for these 2 guys, you do know that once you've got 5 things underneath, you can just go into one of those and start swinging like a lunatic. Names also treated as themselves like singularly. At end of your turn, this Digimon with the hybrid or 10 warrior traits may attack a player. So there's a chance. There might be a chance here where you get to like do attack into unsuspend into attack. I'm not 100% sure how that works though, because I think technically you have to resolve all your effects first, and then you go to end of turn. So it might be a case of you swing with like Emperor. Emperor does his things because you delete something, you unsuspend, and then because it's end of turn, you get to attack again with the inheritance effect. I could be wrong. But that's how I think this works. But yeah, that's what we know so far. We also get this cool alternate art here, which I think is in the top pack, possibly. I know we are getting the lucky pack, and I think this might be in the lucky pack rather than alternate arts in the set itself. Tell me over here, security players card by paying this cost, and then start with your main phase by trashing 1 card with hybrid or 10 warrior traits in your hand, gain a memory. When taking one's turn, trash the bottom Digimon card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if your opponent has no Digimon with Digimon card, draw 1. A fairly okay Digimon, in my opinion, in ice-clad decks, especially like Hexawal currently, where this could work quite well. And having access to draw 1 might be useful. Not saying it is, but it's an option. Also, again, very very similar. It's just off a background. Zoe over here now. Start your main phase by trashing 1 card with a hand with 10 warriors, draw a card. And then when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, you may play 1 tamer card with inherited effects from your hand without paying the cost, which is quite good. Again, alt art is here. It's just in this, like, I think, hybrid DNA room, maybe? I'm not too sure. JP over here, start of your turn. So start your main phase by trashing 1 card in hand. From the hybrids or 10 warrior traits, you can draw a card. And then when attack targets change, you may play 1 temper, which is pretty good because this has collision on its level 5, and you also have blocker in the sources, so it might work. Zenith over here now, everyone's favourite Vemmon tamer. Start your main phase by trashing 1 Vemmon in your hand, draw and gain a memory. Okay, that's pretty cool. Your turn, when any of your Digimon attack by suspending this tamer and returning 2 of the Vemmons from your Digimon's Digimon cards to the bottom of the deck. Digimon one for your opponent's Digimon. Again, there are inherited effects that say when things move, you can do things. So, it's there. It's interesting. Violet in boots over here now. Start of your turn. If you have 2 or less memory, gain 3. And then start of your main phase by trashing 1 option card or 1 card with the Ghost or 3 Musketeers traits in your hand. Draw a card. This is a perfectly fine card. Obviously, we don't know what her deck currently does. We're presuming that we get her deck in EX8 for the Ghost stuff. As we know, it's the Undead Soldiers. Currently, there's no issue with this. Obviously, having Ghost in the trait is a lot easier to get rid of than the 3 Musketeers, because currently I think it's just the option cards are traded as well as the level 6s? I think it's level 6s are the only ones that are currently. So you are basically throwing away your option cards or your level 6s. The deck does recycle its options quite well, either sucking them back under as sources or putting them back in the deck, so you aren't really losing out too much as long as you have ways of doing it in your hand or you draw into it. But you obviously do have to be careful to a degree. We do get a alt art here where it's both Impmon and Ghostmon. I think it's Ghostmon staring at through here. It's quite funny because obviously the Impmon in the current Liberators situation is from the Yuki side of things, so let's just share the Impmon. That's kind of weird. We do have the new Koji with his baseball cap on over here now. Play it from security. If you're hitting security, start off your main phase by trashing one card with the hybrids or 10 warrior traits in hand, gaining memory. Now, specifically, this card likes you putting things like this version of the deck, which is all purple, wants you putting things in the trash anyway. So essentially, you are being really cool with this. I kind of just wish it was trash a card in hand, so that way you could use it in something like Lucy to have access to all the training options. Options and training cards and stuff. So that way you just go, hey, look, I have the colour requirements here. Let me go crazy. And yeah, being able to put things in the trash would be great, and then getting memory would be really good. And then when it takes turn, you may return one card with a hybrid or 10 warrior traits from the trash to the hand, which is kind of cool because the deck does kind of have that situation where it wants to swing and then digivolve up. So being able to get the card that's already in the trash back out of the trash and digivolve into it is also pretty cool. Obviously, you can do when attacking effects the way you want to do it. Wind to Flame, Ice to Sword. Main, you may place up to 5 hybrid traded cards with different names from your hand or trash under one of your Tamers. Then, one of your Tamers with 5 or more cards under it may digivolve into Emperor Greymon in its hand or trash, ignoring the digital requirements and without paying the cost. That's kind of evil. You may play one Tamer card with the inherited effects from your hand or trash without paying the cost and add this card to hand. Yeah, it costs 3. It's very powerful. It's a really good card. Then we have Lord of Devastation and Rebirth, which is the Susanoo card. Or you have a hybrid or 10 weights, 10 warriors with trait block. Or you have a hybrid or 10 warriors traded Digimon. There we go. You may ignore this card's colour requirements. Main, one of your Digimon or Tamers may digivolve into Susanoo in the hand or trash without paying the cost. Then, by placing up to 4 of your Tamers with different colours as one of your Susanumon's bottom Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory for each card placed, so it's going to cost you 2. Yeah, I think it is using that version of the deck. It's fine. Dark to Light, Thunder to Gunfire. I didn't see no guns. Main, you may place up to 5 hybrid traded cards with different names from your hand or trash under one of your Tamers. Then one of your Tamers with 5 or more cards under may digivolve into a Magna Grumon in the hand or trash, ignoring delivery requirements and without paying the cost. Again, just a very good card. Dragon's Roar. When this card is trashed from security, activate its security effect. Or you have a yellow Digimon card with data or Witcher trait, you may ignore this card's colour requirements. Main, by trashing your top security card, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP until the end of the turn. Then, if you have 2 of your security cards, place this card as your bottom security. Just keep going in circles, right? Security, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. Then, if you have 0 security, recover 1. So you basically get to use it. 3 cards later, they find it again, you recover 1. So it's a fairly good idea for this deck. It does just want to rotate itself around. It's just very powerful. Fist of Athena. While you have a Digimon with Nightmon in its text, you may ignore this card's colour requirements. Main, until the end of your opponent's turn, give one of their Digimon start of the main phase this Digimon attacks. Then, place this card in the battle area. All turns, when attack targets change, delay, one of your Digimon gains piercing and security attack +1 until the end of your turn. This is annoying because obviously the idea is that you have collision, right? So everything has collision. So you give your opponents collision, they swing. You don't want to activate it obviously on their turn, even though it says all turns because it only ends until the end of the turn. So you want to basically activate this card, get it into the rotation. It's their turn, they attack you, everything's got collision, so you can block it, you kill their thing, go back to their turn, you attack then, they have to block if they've got a Digimon, and then you get piercing and security attack +1. Don't use this card with the Dark Meldramon tech that people were thinking about doing from EX2 because you want to obviously suspend so you can pierce them. But it's a good card, cost free, and I can see it being useful like on a follow-up turn as long as they can't get rid of the Digimon or yourself. Gospel of the Fallen Angel. Main, your Digimon in the breeding area may digivolve into a Lucymon in your trash without paying the cost. Then, place this card in the battle area. Main, delay. By digivolving one of your Digimon with the Lucymon in its name into a Digimon card with Lucymon in its name in the trash with the digivolution cost reduced by 3, trash one of your opponent's option cards in the battle area. First option card removal in the game. We are getting more of this with our common rider friend, Mr. Justimon. I think we are getting this out, I'm not too sure. I'll have to have a look. We'll get into the BT90 stuff in a second. If not, we'll see it in February. And then security places this card in the battle area. It's a very good card. It's a 5 cost traded 7 Great Demon Lords. It's the cheapest one after Rise of the Great Demon Lords. But yes, great card. We've got the deck profile coming up on over the weekend for you guys to watch. Satan mode. Lucy Chaos mode for a cost of 6. So it goes from a 6 to a it goes from 5 to a 7 for a cost of 6. Pretty good. Also the fact that you can technically like Well, my brain's gone dead now. What are we doing? You can wisdom training into this as well, so it will jump into this for a cost of 4 instead, which can just be horrendous for your opponent. When digivolving by placing one Lucimon Lava from your trash to an empty breeding area without paying the cost, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Oh yeah. By the way, that's your choice now. They get to choose. You just pop one of the things. End of all turns, once per turn, trash your opponent's top security card. If this effect didn't trash, delete one of your opponent's Digimon and one of their Tamers. So yeah, essentially, if they're in a position where you've basically took them down to 0, but you can't finish the game, you can essentially just ruin their board instead. Saiyan mode, very good card. Looking forward to playing this. It is a secret rare, so unfortunately we'll be having to fight the battle to get this out. First alt art of Satan mode is a very creepy looking dragon with a bone-esque texture, but at the same time, that's always kind of cool. Then we do have an SP here, it's the Golden Chase one. Has a similar kind of look to it as the Agudamon does. I'm not a massive fan of the Agudamon. It has like the weird tendriliness about itself, but this in comparison looks quite cool with the purple and the gold, and obviously then the different 7 Great Demon Lords here. I do wish this was like Lucimon Chaos mode for a cost of 6 or something, and then like maybe the 7 Great Demon Lords for a reduced cost of like 4. Just something to make it kind of more in keeping with being as like a Demon Lord card as well. Obviously, it's not a Demon Lord card; it's a Demon God, which I believe is not the same as Aguda. Aguda is an avatar, I believe, so there is some differences there. Here's a Sonomon Ace now. We all love aces. When Digivolving, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or lower Digimon. For each colour in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, add 2,000 to the DP reduction effect maximum. I don't know if this deck is good in the future. I know it's like a very interesting deck, but unfortunately I don't see much this game used much these days. When attacking by placing up to 5 Tamer cards from this Digimon's Digivolution cards as the bottom security cards, for each one trash your opponent's top security cards. That to me makes me very sad, because if you literally have you have 5 security, it's very similar to like what Ogudamon does do, except instead of returning things to the deck, you are just shoving everything in your security and flipping your opponent off. Essentially, it's very unjustified. So Solomon over here now. When Digivolving, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. 10,000. Oh, sorry. So one of my bats. Alt art is very, very nice. It's actually quite nice. It's very colourful in comparison to the other one. And then we have the SP, which, like, this is sick. I ain't gonna lie. This is a gold, white. Look at all the accents of black and grey. Beautiful art textures. The rainbow colour over here is quite interesting because it does kind of like pull away from the rest of it. But like Paladin mode, it is a 9 cost level 7. But at the same time, it does not have an on play, which is really good for your opponent to be able to just throw on the floor and kick you in the face. Going now into BT19, as you're aware, 2.0 does contain some 19 cards. We are getting access to the full line of the Liberators cards in BT19, I believe. So, Pyoyomon, which I believe is Jellymon's baby. Opponent's turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon attack by returning this Digimon with Aqua or CM in any of its traits to the bottom of the deck, return one of your opponent's Digimon with as high or lower level as the return Digimon to hand. Now this sounds really bad, but as we go through it, you'll understand that it's not always the worst case scenario. Pokemon in green now. While you have another green Digimon, this Digimon gets 2,000 DP. This could be quite interesting for decks that just want more DP in green. Maybe a 1 of, as opposed to being the 4 of. But this will help in most green decks. There's a lot of green decks do want to go sideways. Pagumon, on deletion, delete one. If deleted other than in battle, return one level 3 purple Digimon card from your trash to the hand. This isn't a terrible card by any means. It's really good to get the floodgates back. It's really good to get access to your Gazimons, because you don't really have any good Gazimons that you want to keep rotating in for the Millennium deck. So it's there basically as like a recursion to the level 3s that just exploded. Sangomon here, now on play, reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with the Aqua or Sea Animal in its traits, and 1 card with the Liberators traits similar to the hand, return the rest of them up the deck. Again, like the puppy deck that I've built before, this will be a very interesting deck to work around, and I'm sure there's actually like a really good aquatic deck that works where it just constantly just flows itself. And then the alt art here is really cool. You get to see the whole evolution lines. It goes from Sango into Shell into Maharagito, where it was called from Jujutsu Kaisen, and then this beautiful sea slug dragon thing at the top. Going to have a swim on here, having jamming as its inherent effect just seems very common for most of the blue level 3s these days, but nonetheless it has evade as its own skill. It can be quite useful, and having jamming is also it's always just a useful skill to have. Shaman over here now, when Digivolving, if you have 1 or fewer Tamers, you may play 1 Yao Quelling from your hand without paying the cost. Again, it's nice to see these new cards that let you play up to 2 Tamers. At the end of attack, once per turn, get a memory, which is, again, pretty cool. Digimon, on play when you return one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon to hand. That can be really good if your opponent has a Floodgate out. I know it's only going to hand, they're probably going to play it out again the following turn, but getting it off the field if you need it to like pop a memory boost or going in from in training, so it's one of those ones that says, hey, you can't do things. Sakuyamon can't reduce illusion costs, so yeah, it can be quite good to ignore the whole stuff. Has jamming again as it's inherited. Going up down to his level 5, Hakunimon. Blocker. Blocker's always cool. I'll play when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn. One of your Digimon can't be deleted in battle. So it's pretty good if you have a blocker that can't be deleted. Your turn, this Digimon's attack targets can't be changed, which is really cool. It's going to be quite helpful in formats where blocking is going to be more common, as well as more collision. Marine Ballmon. Decode, a level 4 blue. For those of you who are not aware what Decode is, it's a brand new ability that's come out in this set. If you've been keeping it up to date with the Liberator stuff, this is also in Liberators. With this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by battle. You may play a 1 level 4 blue Digimon card with the Digimon cards without paying the cost. On play when Digivolving, you may place 1 Digimon card with Aqua or Sea Animal in any of its traits from your hand as one of your Digimon's bottom Digimon cards. It's aquatic as well as being a mollusk as well as being a Liberator. End of attack was percent. You may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card with the Aqua or Sea Animal in any of its traits from this Digimon Digimon cards without paying the cost. The idea of this here, I feel like, is you want to play out the level 3 because you'll decode the level 4 like at a later date. But look, it's a really good stuff. Ryugumon, so I know it's dragon something. I'm not sure what the goo is in Japanese, but it's dragon something. Decode 5, so the idea is obviously you get this to go into the 5. The 5 on Digivolving on play sucks something up, and then at the end of attack you get to throw it back out again. When Digivolving, you may play a 1 level 4 or lower blue Digimon card from this Digimon Digimon card without paying the cost. At the end of your turn by returning one of your Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Return one of your opponent's Digimon with as high or low a level as that Digimon to the bottom of the deck. So this deck technically would need a level 7 that does the same, or something similar. But yeah, you can get rid of level 6s if you put this to the bottom of the deck. It just says a Digimon. And Jingbingmon, security +1 blocker. When Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon unsuspends. So yeah, when Digivolving, one of your Digimon unsuspends, then by placing one of your other Digimon with the Aqua or Sea Animal in any of its traits as this Digimon bottom delusion sources gain free memory. It's a 5 cost to Digivolve into, so the idea is essentially you do this to make it a 2 cost Digivolution, and then you can unsuspend. So, is it because you swing Hakunimon? Yeah, so I presume it's because you give this effect, swing with it, can't die in battle because security battle is still a battle. Digivolve into this, unsuspend for a cost of 2, have blocker, security attack +1, you can swing again. It keeps the effect, right? Yeah, and then if your opponent. Yeah, and then if they try and kill you in battle with like piercing, whatever, you don't die. Okay, yeah, that's so cool. Tapirmon, on play by trashing your top security card, gain 1 memory. I will consider it. All turns return, if this is yellow Digimon with the data or Ginny trait, would leave the battle area other than your opponent's effects by trashing the top security card, doesn't leave. That's not barrier, right? Barrier is specifically battle damage, right? So there you go, you have the basically effects can't affect it now. It's pretty cool. Edgemon, on deletion, give one of your opponent's Digimon as security attack +1 until the end of their turn, and then if you have 2 of your security, you can have 1. It's pretty cool. Barrier as well as inheritance effect. So you get the chance to, if you die, you can barrier if this is like above level 5 or higher, and this one stops you from being removed. Okay. Got putting things again. Wizardmon X Antibody, a cool looking Digimon. We've already seen him in his purpley form, and now we're going to see him now in his yellowy purpley form. On play, when Digivolving, add the top security card to your hand, and then if Wizardmon or X Antibody is in this Digimon's Digimon cards, you may place 1 use cost 5 or lower yellow or purple option card from the hand as the bottom security card. Would this be usable in BLZ, maybe? No, I don't think it would be. I mean, the idea to be able to put it in your security, because you could put, what's it called? The 4 cost option card that just destroys things, like for every 10 you go up a level. Can't remember what it's called now, but that'd be really cool, to be fair, to be able to put a thing in there that goes, hey, It's a security bomb, and you know it's there, and you can't get rid of it. It's gonna get you. Score Digimon on play when digivolving by trashing your top security. Delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon card in game or memory, and then on deletion recover one. That's pretty good if you're just going to throw it into something, or you know it's going to die next turn either way. All turns will turn when your security stack is removed from this Digimon main on suspend. That is also pretty good, especially if you are looking at playing it with the Dynasty package on here. On play when digivolving by trashing your top security card, one of your Digimon gains block it and gets plus 6,000 DP for the turn till the end of your opponent's turn. Damn. All turns will return when this Digimon would leave the battle area. If you have 2 or fewer security, recover 1, which is a good effect. We have Excellent Antibody now, which is Raid and Blocker. Jesus Christ, we're going in. When Digivolving, when attacking once per turn, if Dynasmon or the Excellent Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, by trashing your top security card, trash your opponent's top security card, and this Digimon gains 6,000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. So this can have like 24k, right? Minimum. If you're going from the Dynasmon to this, the end of your turn, if you have 2 or fewer security cards, recover plus 1. So good, right? Then we have the alt art, which is kind of insane looking. That's really pretty. We have access to Lucimon X Antibody now. This god of the fallen angels over here, the Mr. Demon Lord himself. All turns return when this Digimon would leave the battle area. If a card with Lucimon is in its name is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards by trashing both players' top security card, this doesn't leave. Once per turn, all turns. I think you can technically play this in Demon Lords if you really want to, because when the brain's gone dead now, when Gates tries to delete this, it goes remove security. As long as you got Chaos or the Lucy inherited in some variety over here. End of your turn, your opponent may trash their top security. If this effect didn't trash, recover +1 and delete one of their Digimon or Tamers. Basically, on your turn, you just go like, hey, I'm going to do this thing now. You can either pop a security or I'm going to recover. So you're going to lose 2 security this turn without me even touching your stuff. Or I'm going to lose 0 security and you're going to be down 1 and some Digimon or Tamers. Like, the card is really cool. Part of me wishes it to say Lucimon in its name or the X Antibody, but I think the idea is you don't really care for X Antibody in this deck. Again, we've got a deck profile coming out of this over the weekend, so you can see what you guys think of it. But this makes me happy because he's an evil bastard. The alt art is really cool. He is holding the X Antibody in his hand. The issue I have is, again, like, there's nothing in here that kind of talks about the X Antibody besides his name, and I could have really liked this if he just had like the X Antibody traits. I think it might have been too easy to do though if that was the case, and that might be the reason why. So Fun Beamon from BT19 here now. Security all turns, all of your role-based Digimon get plus 1,000 DP, which is very common for this deck. All turns when this Digimon would digivolve into a Digimon with the role-based trait, reduce the cost by 1, which is the common thing for a lot of these Digimon from the Liberators things. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not having a go. It's just the common thing, and it's kind of cool, I ain't gonna lie. Got Shamblemon over here on play when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then one of their Digimon with the data trait can't suspend until the end of their turn. This is essentially Wictionary, whatever it's called, Hatred. Forge Beamon, the security, all turns, all of your role-based trait Digimon gain another 1,000 DP. Very cool looking Digimon in my opinion. And then all turns when any of your other Digimon with the role-based trait would leave the battle area by effects. By placing this Digimon face up as the bottom security card, they don't leave. This is just a really cool effect. Forge Beamon, it's obviously he's forging himself into security, so you don't have to leave. And then all turns, this Digimon gets 1,000 DP. I just like the idea of it. None of us think the deck is going to be very strong, but we all think it's a very interesting and very cool playstyle of deck. Security, opponent's turn, all of your role base getting blockers. Obviously, Vespa and Cannon do the same thing. Part of me would like one of them to give retaliation, just to be a wasp sting. When your opponent's like, right, you got a blocker? Yes. Can you? What's going to happen? I'm going to block and I'm going to kill you. I'm going to sting you basically. You get 1 shot. On play when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 2 or less for each of your face-up security. Add 2 to the effects of this play cost. Next one. To be fair, at this point you probably do have like 2 or 3 in there, so you are looking at like most level 5s possibly getting popped at this point. And then all turns return when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, trash their top security. Again, the slam build of Machinedramon, where you just want to put all these inherited effect type Digimon underneath it with collision, and watch your opponents just wince in pain. We do know we're getting this as an alt art here as a box, Lucky Pack topper. That's what we're going to get in Fallout as an uncommon. Again, I don't think we're having pre-release anymore. We're getting lucky facts, I think, from now on. Don't quote me on this. That's what I believe we've been kind of like told without actually being told. Has Alliance now on the Queen Beam on here. When attacking once per turn, you may play one role-based trait Digimon card from your face-up securities with this card's play cost reduced by 8. All turns when any of your role-based trait Digimon would leave the battle area other than by battle, you may place those Digimon face-up as the bottom security cards. So yeah, if you've gone really wide in this deck, which I'm pretty sure you can, she's essentially protecting you from leaving the field without basically just recovering security by a lot. And then the alternate here, not actually sure what's going on here, but I do like the whole queen on her fortress imagery here. Monotone here, on deletion, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Amongst them, add 1 card with Nightmon in its text or Twilight traits to the hand and place 1 such card under your Tamers. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Pretty good card. As we've been seeing more of this deck, people are playing less of like the actual build for it now, playing more of a Dark Animal, and I've seen a hybrid build of the deck, which apparently does work. So we might not see much of it in the future, but the archetypal build does play that. School Night one here, we block it and then on deletion save, stick it underneath the Tamer, and then block it as it's inherited because I believe the Dark Knight one doesn't have block it as on its own. We have Retaliation and on deletion save, and then reboot under this Deadly Axemon. Very cool looking janky Digimon over here. Probably play at least one of these, right? Although I think the old Deadly Axemon does have on play search, if I remember correctly. Material save 1. On play, when Digivolving, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if Digicrossing with 2 cards, you may delete 1 play cost free or lower Digimon card or Tamer. You are basically getting rid of Tamers for free. On deletion, you may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card with the Nightmon in its text from under your Tamers without paying the cost. Digicross -2, Skull Nightmon and Deadly Axemon, so you get this out for 4. When this would be played, you may place specific cards from the hand battle area under it. Each one reduces the play cost, which is very cool, because not all Digicross cards read this, so this is obviously more of a reminder text for people who are coming in at a later date. And on deletion, you may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card with Nightmon in its text from the trash without paying the cost, which is generally here just to give you an extra blocker in case you do go boom. Machine one over here now, another new Machine one. On play, when Digivolving, delete 1 level 5 or lower Digimon. Then on deletion, you may play 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card with the Cyborg or Composite trait from your trash without paying the cost. Digicross -1. 5 level 5 or lower Cyborg Composite trait Digimon cards with different card names. I don't think you would play this specifically in normal Machine Digimon. You can. I'm just saying I don't think you would. At the same time, I think you can play this with its Supreme Connection from BT15. So you make this a free cost Nega. And I think if you play Super Heavy Machine Takeover, whatever it's called, you do get Blitz and Rush as well. So you get Rush and Blitz as well. So you do this, go up into it, do all the things, do all the things. Post turn return, when any of your opponent's Digimon attack, you may change the attack target to one of your Digimon with the Composite or Wicked God trait. I again would wish this would say Machine or Cyborg in here, so that way if you were like Machine Chaos on top or Chaos X on top, you could basically make it just come into you. And again, as you know from the inherited effects of this one over here, all turns return, if anything crashes into you and you don't die, and they do, you just go plus 1,000. Pagamon for a cost of 0, and then on play by trashing 1 card with the Composite or Wicked God traits from your hand, draw 2. Come on, you know how I feel about these at the time. This is an amazing card, especially in a deck that wants things in the trash. Gizamon, you're doing God's work over here. The new Deltamon over here, on play when Digivolving on deletion, by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 4 Digimon. Having it on play and on deletion with all good keywords. You can play this in the Dark Animal deck where you want to play level 4 out for free. And then on play, if you want to trash a card, you can. And then you get all the effects of the normal Dark Animal ones, like draw a card, trash a card, gain memory and all that. It can have Rush so it can swing as well, so when it crashes into security and dies, it's on deletion, do it again. And it's just a really good card in that kind of deck. I do look forward to seeing more of this in the future. New Chimera, even though we just had another Chimera. On play when Digivolving by deleting one of your Digimon, delete one of your opponent's level 3, one of their level 4, one of their level 5 Digimon, and on deletion by deleting one of your level 4 or lower purple or red Digimon, you may play 1 Machine Digimon from the trash without paying the cost, which is... I'm cool with this. Security Attack +1, so both of the Chimeras have Security Attack +1, just that way you're not missing out on, in brackets, a worse inherited one. Lord Nightmon, on play when Digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. Bonus turn, once per turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon attack, you may change the attack target to one of your Digimon with the Royal Knight trait. So essentially, you're going to crash into me, baby. I presume you can play this in... Brain's going dead now. Royal Knights, if you wanted to. I don't know if you would, but you could, I believe, as obviously having things with Royal Knight traits do make things a bit more interesting. Lord Nightmon, excellent ability here, collision and piercing when digivolving for each of your Digimon. Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, until the end of their turn, one of their Digimon can't digivolve. Very impressive, amazing card. Kind of the reason why it's currently the best deck in the Japanese format. Blue Flare is apparently the other best deck in the format, but we don't get those cards until 2.5. So unless this deck gets hit between this releasing and 2.5 releasing, there's a good chance that Lord Nightmon will just be the best deck for the next 6 months. All turns while Lord Nightmon or excellent abilities in this Digimon's distribution cards, all of your Digimon with Nightmon in the name gain Alliance. To be fair, the only card that you really care about getting Alliance is specifically this one, because you will suspend your Digimon, and if you're running the Dark Animal engine, if you go watch Eats video, I'll explain it more. He says essentially, so you pop the Digimon that you use to Alliance to unsuspend, and then you can then Alliance with the other Digimon to do 4 hits in 1 turn. Obviously, if you don't die, it's really good, but we'll see. Oh, sorry, we'll go for the alt art. I like the rose motif here, so it's more it's Crusadermon, so it's already a French knight, and this is like the roses, the Battle of the Roses, so it makes it's real life lore technically, if that makes sense. If you know anything about European medieval times, this makes sense if you know about it. If you don't know about it and you don't really care, it doesn't matter. But it's just an interesting thing because it's something we studied at school. Moon Millennium on over here. On play when digivolving, your opponent trashes cards in their hand until they have 5 left. Every 2, this effect to trash delete one of your opponent's Tamers. All turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area by deleting one of your competent traded Digimon, it doesn't leave. All turns will turn when other Digimon or Tamers are deleted, trash your opponent's top security card. It's only once per turn at least, so that way you're not just basically trashing or killing all the Tamers and then winning the game for that one. The alt art is very cool as well. I do actually quite like Moon Millennium's alt art. It's very spooky, scary. Yalquin over here, she's a memory setter. If you have 2 or less memory, you go to 3. All turns when any of your Digimon with Aqua or CM in any of their traits attacks. By suspending this Tamer, you may place a 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card with the Aqua CM in any of their traits in your hand as their bottom Digimon cards. This could be quite useful if you want to use it in the current animal deck that I'm using with the Tamer from BT17, who is when you play a Digimon from sources, you can give it Rush. We have the alt art here. Unfortunately, Sangamon here looks like he's drowning in the oxygen. We got Wiener over here. Start of your main phase. If you got a face-up security card, gain 1 memory. He's kind of useless really if you turn 1 him. So you really have to basically put him out turn 2. It's really weird. I don't know when you're gonna be able to play this guy efficiently. Main, by suspending this Tamer, one of your Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card face-up security. If this effect digivolves, you may place 1 Digimon card with a royal base trait from your hand face-up in the bottom of security, which is pretty good if obviously you're climbing through security. So again, they made this deck really interesting and cool, and I want there to be a tiny bit more support just to make it a little bit more, I'm going to say easier, but they've got to do something just to make the deck a little bit more than what it is, because a lot of people just think it's a weird deck, and it is a weird deck, but it's an interesting deck at the same time. And the alt art is pretty cool because Fun Beamon looks really cool in this. We do have a new Nini. Start of your turn, if you have 2 or less memory, go to 3. She's a memory setter. All turns when any of your composite or Twilight traded Digimon with Digicross requirements would be played. By suspending this Tamer, 1 card under your Tamer and 1 card in your trash can also be placed as this cross, which is obviously really good. From what I've seen, you're only playing 1 of this in any of the decks, but it's a really good card. The fact that you do have things to get saved underneath your Tamer, and there will be things in the trash, makes this a very interesting card. The alt arts of this set are actually kind of cool and interesting because they are based on the manga, which I've never seen. I don't know if a lot of people in the West have seen it, but yeah, we have this here. Wadatsumi Purification, which is the attack of Ryugo. Giant Sea Slug. Return one of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck. By returning one of your blue Digimon to the bottom of the deck, instead return one of your opponent's level 6 lower deck. It's any blue Digimon as well, so it's not a case of you have to return the level 6, although you can return the level 6, so you do the decoding spam. But yeah, if you got a level 3 on the field and you just want to do this, it's bye-bye. It's really cool. It's cost 5, but it's a good way to get rid of your opponent's Digimon. 7th Divine Cruise, another 7 cost, 7 Great Demon Lord traded card. Again, you can use this in Demon Lords if you really wish to. Trash your turn when any of your Digimon digivolve into Lucimon X antibody. By returning this card to the bottom of the deck, your opponent may trash their top security card. If they didn't, recover +1. Main, delete your opponent's Digimon until they have as many as you have security cards. If this effect deleted, recover +1. So the funny thing about this is obviously if your opponent has just a wide board of Digimon, and they're just like thinking like, yeah, maybe you got them to not do able to do anything for a turn, or they swung and took all your security. If you can just play this that turn and get rid of all their Digimon, they've got nothing in back, so basically you get a free turn. You recover +1. They've got no Digimon, and you just get to giggle in their face. You may play one Lucimon from your trash without paying the cost as it's a security effect. I don't know if it's specifically. I'm assuming it's the level 3 Lucimon because it's not in name. But even so, if you play like the BT4 one, recovery. So, all the Lucies are pretty good. Having access to Lucy though, like on your follow-up turn if they can't get rid of you, is very powerful. So have main effects. Put down a level 6 Digimon, put it on top of recover security, go into a chaos, then like pop security, deletes things. It's very good. Like I think a lot of people may be forgetting how good it is. Horny Razor, 8 cost here. Main, you may place one Digimon card with a royal base trait face up as a bottom security card, then delete up to 8 play cost total worth of your opponent's Digimon. For each card face up in security, add to the effect of this maximum cost. I can see this being really good, and obviously because you place first before you activate the effect, you are generally always hitting 10 play cost, but you are probably going to be doing like 14 to 16, so you will be getting rid of a lot of the level 7s quite easily with this deck. Unless obviously you can't keep things in security. Well, that's that then. The Wicked God descends. Main, you may play one composite trait Digimon card from the trash with the play cost reduced by 4, then place this card in the battle area. When any of your Digimon with Millennium in the name would leave the battle area, delay, you may play one Wicked God trait Digimon card with a play cost of 1 higher than the Digimon card from your hand or trash for paying the cost. So, I think it's been discovered that you go like Millennium into the old Millennium into Moon and then into Zed. I think that's the order. So you can continue. You got basically you can go up in 4s. So that's quite good. Overclock composite traits. Obviously you have composite monster, pop it, and you can get to swing without having to suspend. On play, when Digivolving when attacking by returning one Digimon card from your opponent's trash to the top of the deck, return one of their Digimon to the bottom of the deck. That's on play when Digivolving and attacking. So if you can Digivolve into this and keep turning and then swing, it's going to be very good. All turns, this Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't suspend and isn't affected by your opponent's effects, but it can overclock. That might be something it might pass your mind, but yeah, if you can overclock if you've got the composite trait Digimon there, but your opponent can't get this off the field if it has no sources. Then we have the alternate arts. Beautiful. They look great. They do look really good. I've seen the Japanese ones. It's so shiny. The falling's really nice. And then this is also really nice. Not really my cup of tea. It is very like weird and like grimy in terms of like, it's like it's meant to be. It's meant to be like a really like sick looking alternate art. But again, SPs are quite cool. But they aren't to everyone's cup of tea. And then we have the gold and red crimson here as a chase card. Is the EX2 one. I'm not too sure how I feel about this one. The Ultimate Cup one we got last year was absolutely gorgeous and probably like the best art of this card in general. But at the same time, I would have liked this to be the new one. I know obviously we only got it in BT17, but I think it would have been nicer. We also got an SP of it already, so we don't necessarily need another one, but that's where that is. And that's everything today, guys. That is like an hour and a half of me talking about Digimon cards. Hopefully you've had a good time. We'll catch you guys next time. Again, remember your defeats, and if you've been here till the end, you're crazy, but leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Mwah! Love you all. Peace out and goodbye.